Good morning, everyone. I call to order the August 13th, 2025 Planning Commission meeting at 9 a.m. We are meeting at the San Mateo County Board of Supervisors chambers as well as via Zoom. Please rise and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. Nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Clerk, please proceed with the roll call.
Commissioner Garcia, Commissioner Gupta,
Here.
Commissioner Hanson,
Here.
Chair Serrano Kwan.
Here.
Thank you, Chair. You have a quorum and staff is represented by Monowitz, Fox, and Gonzalez. Thank you.
We will now open public comment for items on the consent agenda and items not on the agenda. This meeting is a limited public forum. All public comments must relate to something that is within the subject matter jurisdiction of this agency. If a comment does not relate to the subject matter jurisdiction of this agency, we will interrupt your comment and move on to the next speaker. As presiding officer of this meeting, I will determine whether a comment does not relate to the subject matters placed within this agency's purview. Madam Clerk, please proceed.
Thank you, Chair. I will first call upon members in person, followed by speakers on Zoom. For in-person comments, the speaker slips are located in the back of the room. On Zoom, please use the raise hand feature or *9 if you are calling by phone. And at this time, we do not have any public comment for items not on the agenda.
Thank you. We will now close public comment for items on the consent agenda and items not on the agenda. Is there a motion to set the agenda and approve the consent agenda, which includes item 1, minutes from July 23rd, and item 2, PLN 2025-00161?
I so move that we accept the consent agenda.
Thank you. That was a motion by Commissioner Hanson and a second by Commissioner Garcia. Commissioner Garcia? Commissioner Gupta?
Aye.
Commissioner Hanson?
Aye.
Chair Serrano Kwan? Thank you. Motion carries.
We will now move on to item 3, resolution honoring Commissioner Frederick Hanson for his service on the San Mateo County Planning Commission. Mr. Monowitz, please proceed.
Yes, thank you, Chair Serrano Kwan. It's a true honor to recognize Commissioner Hanson for his exceptional service to this commission. Commissioner Hanson has provided exceptional contributions to the deliberations and actions of this commission in many ways, and I'll just name a few. The commission has certainly benefited from Commissioner Hanson's design expertise, which has led to the preservation and enhancement of community character and the protection and restoration of critical natural resources. Commissioner Hanson's historical knowledge has been extremely helpful and important in providing feedback on planning initiatives and policy and regulation updates that have led to better outcomes than would have been achieved without his input. His advocacy for public participation has ensured all participants and interested parties are provided with adequate opportunity to express their opinions and to understand his positions on the issues at hand. Finally, Commissioner Hanson has truly honored and respected the important role that the Planning Commission plays in establishing county policies and making important decisions on development proposals. His leadership has enabled the Planning Commission to meet and exceed the expectations of the public and the staff in this regard. And I'm truly appreciative of all you've done for this commission. Thank you, Commissioner Hanson.
Dear Supervisor.
I believe her staff just mentioned that they're on their way down, so they will be here in a little bit. So maybe if you'd like to move us on to commissioner remarks,
Sure.
and then we'll give them a minute to speak. Thank you.
We will now give Commissioner the opportunity to speak. Commissioner Gupta.
Thank you, Chair. Commissioner Hanson, over my 8 years on the Planning Commission, I have admired you for being soft-spoken, respectful of the project planners and all staff members, always very well read and prepared for every meeting. You made a point to visit the project sites that were on the agenda before our meeting, especially the ones on the coast side. I distinctly remember our off-site meeting that was held at Half Moon Bay Library on the evening of January 2020. The meeting was to hear from the public on Cypress Point project, a 71-unit affordable housing development proposed in Moss Beach. Chair Hanson at the time reached early so he could have the venue set up properly. As you can imagine, the room was totally packed, standing room only. At the very start of the meeting, he gave very clear instructions to the speakers to not repeat what had already been said, so every speaker could comment. In less than 2 hours, we heard close to 60 speakers, and I think they went home satisfied. Amazing example of your leadership. Thank you, Chair Hanson. A little background on Commissioner Hanson. He joined the Planning Commission with numerous accolades under his belt. To name a few, he served as Public Works Commissioner, Planning Commissioner, and City Councilman for the city of San Mateo. California Parks and Recreation Society honored him with Champion of the Community Award. Congratulations, Commissioner Hanson. In closing, Commissioner Hanson, it's been a real pleasure serving alongside you on the Planning Commission. I've truly valued your perspective, your steady presence, and the care you brought to every decision. Your thoughtful insights and dedication to the community has made a lasting impact. Our county and community is better for your service. Wishing you happy travels. Thank you.
Yeah. In my short time on this commission, I've just very much appreciated the welcome that all of you and especially Commissioner Hanson have provided to me, as well as guidance and offer for assistance getting up to speed. And I very value that very much. Thank you for being so welcoming. Thank you for your our discussions, although though brief, have been lively, and I've definitely appreciated having the variety of perspective, and I think it has helped us come to better decisions. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Commissioner Garcia. Is the supervisor here yet?
Yes, we have Jackie Rigoni from Supervisor Corzo's office.
Good morning, Fred. I'm sorry you get me instead of Supervisor Corzo. She had another commitment this morning. On behalf of Supervisor Corzo and District 2, I want to take a moment to acknowledge you, Commissioner Hanson, for your dedicated service to District 2, to this commission, and to the San Mateo County as a whole. Commissioner Hansen's term carried over from the previous supervisor, Supervisor Groom, but from the moment Supervisor Corzo's team and all of us first and Supervisor Corzo met Fred, it was clear that your experience, knowledge of history and the law and dedication to this county made you a real asset to this commission. And if you all have met him, for the rest of you, you know Fred has a deep curiosity for both the natural environment and the built environment around him, and he cares for the future of his community and this county. Commissioner Hansen played a key role in interviewing and choosing the incoming District 2 Planning Commissioner, Adam Nugent, whose approval will come before the board in the August 26th Board of Supervisors meeting. So please know that you'll be in good hands as a commission and as staff. Adam has an extensive background as a city of San Mateo planning commissioner like Fred, which is a good sign if you know anything about the knowledge and experience that Fred has brought to this commission. So Commissioner Hansen, on behalf of Supervisor Corzo and the District 2 team, I want to thank you for your leadership and for your amazing help in this transition and the whole body of your work on this commission. I trust that with the time you'll gain back without commission meetings, you'll be able to travel to more corners of the world. And we all wish you the best of luck. Thank you for your service.
Thank you, Jack. Is there, but commissioners, okay, I guess it's my turn now, Fred. Probably known you for a little less than 2 years, and during that time, I really appreciated your insights, the history lesson you've given me of everything that you've done, and much appreciate all the education and hearing your thinking, your mind, and your thoughtfulness when it's coming to the approach with everything that we're faced with here. I'm actually really, really saddened because we lost Lisa, and Manuel transitioned off, and it's going to be a new commission, which is good for us, but we're losing history here. So I'm going to chase you down where you are at and find you and have coffee again and lunch. And so thank you very much for your work here and being part of our community. Thank you so much, Fred.
Thank you.
Anybody else?
Public comment?
Any public comments, please?
Yes, thank you. We will now open public comment for item number 3, and I will call on members in person, followed by any speakers on Zoom. And I will first call on former Commissioner Ramirez.
Good morning, everyone. Fred, I come today to thank you for the many years that you have dedicated to serving the San Mateo County on the Planning Commission. I want to thank you for your selfless act of spending time from your retirement years to give us your professional experience. You could have spent the time traveling and making great memories, but instead you chose to gift us your time and expertise. And as I know that you love to travel, I can tell you that I learned a lot from you. I always listen attentively to what you had to say, and I always admire that you always gave every applicant your full attention and you always reached a fair decision. I have mentioned that in a few times that well, and sometimes in some cases, you and I ended up in the opposite sides of an issue. We debated amicably and always resolved our differences for the benefit of the public. I wanted to thank you for the wealth of knowledge that you brought to the commission, your deep understanding of the history of the county. I always was looking forward to hearing what nugget of information you were going to give us on the lost history of the county. Today, I just wanted to add my name to your recognition for all that you gave us to the San Mateo County. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. And I will now call on Bharat Singh.
Good morning, Commissioners, Commissioner Hanson. Today, the planning staff, both current and long range, want to take a moment to recognize that and thank you, Commissioner Hanson. Over the past 15 years, you have reviewed and voted on virtually every project that has come before this body, always with heart, compassion, and a deep commitment to fairness, to the applicants, to the opponents of projects, and most importantly, to our staff. You've been a model of balance, thorough in analysis, concise in remarks, and able to weigh the objectivity of our zoning ordinances with the human realities behind each application. You have always arrived at hearings as informed as possible, yet with an open mind and a genuine willingness to listen to other perspectives. Our work has been enriched by your broad background and experience as a council member, a planning commissioner, a historical advisory board member, and public works commissioner in your previous responsibilities. Your leadership and insight have been instrumental in supporting important policy updates, including the recently done housing element, the North Fair Oaks Community Plan update, and the tree ordinance updates. We will greatly miss your thoughtful inquiries and ability to elevate the discussions on both projects and policy. On behalf of the planning and building staff, we thank you, Commissioner Hanson, for your years of service, dedication to this county, and the example that you've set for public service. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. And with that, Chair, we have no further public comment, but I would just like to add, Commissioner Hanson, that I echo the sentiments and I thank you very much for your service.
Thank you.
Thank you. We will now close public comment. Commissioner Hanson, would you like to speak?
Thank you. I'm cheering up. Really nice things you've said. As you could tell, I really love being a commissioner on the planning commission. My training college was in geography with an urban planning background. And, I worked at Stanford doing finances, but this was something I loved. This is something I studied, I followed on my own, went to different municipalities to see what did and didn't work. And, tried things, reviewed things, and hope people felt that a human's role is to make life better for everybody. And working to those ends, looking at the long range and not just the immediate concerns. I think one of my favorite comments was, well, yes, you can put a building there, but it can't be a shoebox with holes in it because I got to look at it for 50 years. There are consequences, both positive and negative, to every decision. And weighing each one and where you think it's going to end up was actually enjoyable. It was frightening, but enjoyable. I really have to thank the women in my life who may let me do this. They were around for me to bounce ideas and for them to give me a dope slop and say, that's absurd. Sometimes just talking out loud, you do realize how absurd some of the things you think. So thank you. You made my life appear better. You made other people's lives better. And everybody has a great idea within them and a dream they should hope and bring forward and accomplish. And people come with their homes to build. Some of them are their forever homes. And I hope we help them get what they wanted. So thank you for the opportunity. You know, my time is up. A lot of people still have time to do it, enjoy it. Thank you for my opportunity. Oh, the staff here is great. Excellent doesn't come by accident. Thank you.
Thank you, Fred. Um, thank you. Commissioners, do we have a motion honoring Fred?
Oh. Yeah, I would like to make the motion that we how do we make the motion?
I would recommend that you
Then the
propose a
resolu-
motion to approve the resolution as presented by staff.
That we approve the resolution honoring Commissioner Frederick Hansen for his service on the San Mateo County Planning Commission.
Thank you. That was a motion by Commissioner Gupta, a second by Commissioner Garcia. Commissioner Garcia? Commissioner Gupta?
Aye.
Commissioner Hanson?
Abstain.
Chair Serrano Kwan?
Aye.
Thank you. Motion carries 3-1.
All right. Thank you. We will now move on to item number 4. Madam Clerk, please introduce the project in the planner.
Thank you. Owner, Player and Pramakti Trust. Applicant Jessica Sin. File number PLN 2025-00243. Location 416 Lakeview Way. APN 057-131-0660. And your project planner is Erica Adams.
Good morning, commissioners and staff. And thank you, Commissioner Hanson, for your time here. You've always been a thoughtful commissioner. I could tell you did the research and that's appreciated. Okay. My name is Erica Adams. I'm with the Planning and Building Department. I'll be presenting PLN 2024-00243. The proposed development is a 443 square foot addition, replacement of a detached garage, and remodel of a non-conforming residence. The project requires design review permit and a non-conforming use permit. The parcel is substandard at only 6,158 square feet and is 32 feet wide, which is also substandard. The slope of the parcel is 27.5% throughout the entire parcel. The parcel is currently developed with a non-conforming single-family residence, you can see there, and a detached garage with a roof deck. The development is currently over lot coverage and does not comply with side setbacks. This is the existing site plan. The road is at the top, so you'd be looking at the parcel if you're looking top down. The garage has non-conforming setbacks. The house has non-conforming setbacks at currently. The proposal is to replace the non-conforming garage with roof deck with a garage with non-conforming setbacks and roof deck, which would encroach into the front setback, and to add a small addition to the rear corner of the house and do a major remodel. This is the site plan for the proposed development, and you can see that the non-conforming setbacks are maintained and slightly enlarged, but that the footprint of the development is essentially the same. As I mentioned, the project requires a design review permit and a non-conforming use permit. The project was heard at the April 2nd Emerald Lake Hills Design Review Officer meeting. At the meeting, the project was evaluated for conformity with these design review standards. There was a request that the project be revised slightly to better comply with the building and shape standard, asking that the garage, the roof deck be stepped back a little bit to provide more of a step development on the hillside. And so that's the original design. And this is the one on the right is the recommended design, which is what you're evaluating today. The project needs the non-conforming use permit as well. And these are the non-conformities which are being sought today. They're looking at having 2,491 square feet of floor area, where 2,400 is the maximum allowed. Lot coverage of 35.7%, or 25% is the max. Side setbacks of 4.25 feet and 6.67 feet, where 7.5 is the minimum, and a combination of 20 feet is required. And then the second story roof deck is required to meet a 20-foot setback, and that is encroaching 16 feet into the front setback. The garage is allowed to be at that location without any exception. Again, this is the proposed site plan. You can see where the non-conformities are with the side setback, encroachment of the roof deck, lot coverage that's driven by the slope of the parcel. And a non-conforming use permit can be granted when these findings are made. The first finding is that the proposed development is proportion to the size of the parcel which is being built on. As I mentioned, this parcel is 50% smaller than the minimum parcel size, and that the parcel width is 32 feet where 50 feet is required. And those factors and the slope that runs throughout the parcel greatly limit the amount of development. And the proposed development is small, is not grand. It is proportioned to the size of the parcel. There was a house there, the house what has been there since 1938, and the development has been approximately the same size. The next finding is that there are no opportunities to acquire land to make the parcel more conforming. As you can see, that all the adjacent parcels are also non-conforming, and there will be more non-conformities created. Third is that the proposed development is as nearly in conformance with the zoning regulations as currently in effect as reasonably possible. The floor area for a substandard parcel in the RH district is 2,400 square feet, and they are only asking for 91 square feet beyond that square footage, which is minimal and could be granted by a staff level permit. The lot coverage, as I mentioned, is driven by the slope of the parcel, with there being no flat areas on the parcel. More of the development would qualify for lot coverage of being 18 inches or greater above ground. So their lot coverage is driven in part by the slope on the parcel, and the parcel width of 32 feet is prohibitive for a 20-foot wide garage to meet the also 20-foot side setbacks. So it is as reasonably as possible complying with the zoning standards. The next is that basically that there's not going to be an adverse impact to the community or property from the development. As I mentioned, the house has been in this configuration since 1938, and there have not been any concerns about any impact to the community. The proposed roof deck is situated in a way that will not create any privacy issues, because there is the separation from the parcel across the street of Lakeview Way, and then additionally there are trees in the front of that parcel, and the house is actually on the downside slope of the parcel, so the deck will not be in anyone's view. And finally, that the use permit does not constitute the granting of special privileges. In Emerald Lake Hills, I think you've seen me here many times, for Emerald Lake Hill parcels that are substandard and require a non-conforming use permit to develop the parcel in a way that is similar to surrounding parcels. In this case, the nonconformities that they are asking to be addressed are staff finds that they're reasonable and do not constitute a granting of any special privileges. So in addition to the findings for the two permits, we would like for the Planning Commission to also determine that the project is categorically exempt from CEQA. And so the CEQA, and then also that the Planning Commission support the recommended findings and approve the project. And I'll take any questions now.
For staff?
So the total square footage that's being added, that includes the garage also? The 150 or so
So the
square feet of garage?
The deck is on top of the garage. The garage is larger than the deck, so the deck is a little smaller than the garage. So there's no additional lot coverage being added by the deck because it's on top of something already. Is that the question?
No, my question is the total square footage now would be 2,491, right? So that includes whatever increment it is for the garage also. Like garage is.
The garage is counted in the 2,400 square feet, yes.
Right.
Yes.
It's included in there. Okay.
So that makes the house even smaller
Right.
once you take out 491.
Okay. Okay. And no updates had been done on this house since 1938?
I'm sure that some modifications have been done. There's
But-
been some definitely some deck area was added. You know, but this, I don't think that these owners have done much more than the additional deck area on the property.
So there is already a deck on.
No, when I
the
say deck, I
previous
mean
garage?
landings and stairs. That's what I mean when I say deck. I'm not referring to the garage deck at this time.
Okay. Yeah. And any slides or drainage issues? Sorry, maybe you
yeah,
can't
that's
hear
it.
me. Yeah.
Uh,
Any drainage?
Well, it's been reviewed by drainage. They looked at, and so they have done the calculations for that. I don't believe that there are existing drainage issues, and I don't anticipate that there would be new drainage issues. I do know that the project has been reviewed preliminarily, and all the calculations have been done by the drainage section.
I saw that in conditions of approval, there's a long list of things that that are already mentioned there, that they should be addressing those as the
At the building stage.
building,
Right.
right. as the things come through. So that is good. I like that part. But I didn't see that it's classified under any kind of drainage or flooding or anything like that, because the slope it's very steep. The property is, parcel is very
I
steep.
believe a lot of the decks are, that water comes through, so it's not collecting in, a big and speeding things up. I think it's still kind of coming through at the same pace. And so they do have, a retention plan to capture water on site and disseminate it slower as well.
Okay.
And the other thing is that the construction that's occurring is not dramatically different from what's already there. So I would imagine that any new construction can only improve the drainage that's there,
Okay.
because they'll have new ways to capture it.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Any other question from the commission? Hearing none. Thank you, commissioners, for your questions. I understand that the applicant does not have a presentation.
I can barely hear you. I'm sorry.
Oh, sorry. We don't have any other questions for staff. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, commissioners, for your questions. I understand the applicant does not have a presentation, but do commissioners have a question for the applicant?
Hi, I'm Jessica Sin. I'm the principal and architect of JSD Architecture Interiors. So I'm the architect for the project. I also am the chair and sit on the Bayside Design Review Committee for the County of San Mateo. I have my family, we live in Rose City. My kids go to Menlo Park. And it's a tough act to follow, by the way, of Commissioner Hanson here. But I'm happy to answer any questions. Would it be possible if I just answer some of Commissioner Gupta's questions previously for Erica? I just wanted to add that we do have a civil engineer on board and he has taken a look, but seeing that it is a planning stage at the moment, we don't have the full civil plans, but there is a plan in place to take care of drainage on site, and that will be in more full detail when we submit for the building department.
Okay. Okay. All right. Great. So while I have you there, one more question that I have is, in terms of any fire, there are many conditions that I see in conditions of approval about applicant taking care of fire safety. So all those would be addressed also at the building
Yes.
permit stage,
Yes.
right?
Mhm.
And who would be responsible to enforcing those?
So with fire, so typically, there is, we'll submit to the fire department, where fire sprinklers may be involved. It is sometimes a deferred, permit for fire sprinklers, but that being said, if the fire has any comments about, ensuring that we have fireproofing or fire rated walls, usually that comes with the, plan check comments at the building department, through the building permit, submittal, and so we'll address that then. Does that answer
Okay.
your question? I'm sorry.
Like, is that part of the permitting process, and then at the inspection stage,
Yes.
it's made sure that
Yes.
those
Yeah.
were implemented?
Yes.
Right. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you. No more questions.
Mm-hmm.
Any other questions for the applicant? Thank you for your questions. We will now open public comment for item number 3. Madam Clerk?
Thank you, Chair. At this time, I have nobody wishing to speak in person, and there are no hands raised on Zoom for item number 4. Thank you.
Thank you. We will now close public comment for item number 4 and begin commission discussion on this item. Are there any comments from the commission?
Well, I think Erica actually outlined the 5 points why it should be approved. You know, specifically, it will it'll be conforming with the neighborhood. They're not being granted any special rights. And when they finish, most people won't even notice the difference. So I see no reason why not to approve this unless someone else can point something out. I certainly support it. It's a good looking design. It is, and a great write-up to make me speed through this.
I think the design review committee of Emerald Lake Hills has taken a look at the design, and they found it meets their standards. And I think it looks like a good design to me. Yes, some of the non-conformities are already existing, and they will be, they are sort of similar, even what we are approving at this point. So I'm in favor of the project.
Inspired by Commissioner Hansen's example from past meetings, I also took a walk by the site. It is quite a narrow parcel, which does make it difficult to build something that is conforming. But given the efforts that plan has taken to minimize that impact, I see no reason not to approve.
Thank you. We're now, can somebody make a motion to approve, please?
Sorry, let me get the text here. I'd like to make a motion to approve the resolution to accept the building permit for county file number PLN 2024-0023243, excuse me. And yeah, that's sufficient. Yeah.
Can we put that up? Yeah.
Oh yes, and to make the findings that the required exemptions are permitted on the basis of the 5 findings that the the proposed development is proportional to the size of the parcel on which it is built. All opportunities to acquire additional contiguous land or to achieve conformity with the zoning regulations currently in effect have been investigated and proved to be unfeasible. Proposed development is nearly in conformance with the zoning regulations currently in effect as reasonably as possible. And the establishment, maintenance, and conducting of the proposed use will not, under circumstances of the particular, is this really necessary?
Traditionally, what we do is we say the motion is to approve the project subject to the conditions and making the findings as reflected in attachment A to the staff report.
Thank you.
That way you don't need to read them.
Yes, I would like to make the findings so approved as laid out in the staff report. Thank you.
I second.
Thank you. That was a motion by Commissioner Garcia and a second by Commissioner Gupta. Commissioner Garcia,
Aye.
Commissioner Gupta,
Aye.
Commissioner Hansen,
Aye.
Chair Serrano Kwan.
Aye.
Thank you. Motion carries.
Thank you. We will now move on to item number 5. Madam Clerk, please introduce the project and the planner.
Owner applicant, Coastside County Water District, file number PLN 2025-00126, location Pilarcitos Creek Road, APN 056-370-080, and your project planner is Mike Schaller.
Good morning, Commissioners. The project before you today is a request from the Coastside County Water District for the necessary permits to drill 6 municipal water wells to replace existing wells in their Pillarcitos Canyon well field. The existing well field is located on the gated portion of Pillarcitos Creek Road east of Half Moon Bay, and the existing wells are approximately 1 mile north of the intersection of Pillarcitos Creek Road and Highway 92. You can see them outlined in black boxes there on that zoomed in aerial photo. The existing well field consists of 6 wells scattered along a half-mile long reach of Pillarcitos Creek Road. Each existing well, I'll show you an example of what they look like right now. So this is well 3A. Each existing well is set within a concrete well pad varying between 25 and 100 square feet in size and has a corresponding 4-inch water pipe that extends under Pillarcitos Creek Road, connecting to the district's 18-inch raw water transmission pipeline, which conveys the water to the district's Nunez water treatment plant in Half Moon Bay. Construction of each replacement well will begin with the demolition of the old well and associated equipment and piping. This will be followed by drilling of a new well borehole, and then installation of well casing, gravel pack, installation of well pads, equipment, piping, and appurtenances, testing, and then finally startup. The new well pads will be adjacent to or overlap the existing well pads to be demolished. Each replacement well bore will be located about 10 to 15 feet from the existing, the associated existing well bore. As discussed in your staff report, staff believes the project as conditioned complies with the policies contained in the county's general plan, local coastal plan, and zoning ordinance, particularly with regards to the protection of sensitive habitats. All 6 existing well sites are within a 50-foot buffer zone around the riparian habitat associated with Pillarcitos Creek. The 6 proposed replacement wells will also be within this buffer zone. However, all locations are within disturbed upland areas adjacent to the traveled roadway and devoid of habitat. The applicant actively removes encroaching vegetation around the existing well sites to prevent potential damage to the well equipment and other district infrastructure. To avoid any potential impacts to sensitive habitat species, the applicant intends to implement their standard conservation measures, including pre-construction surveys and the use of exclusion fencing during construction, as well as worker training and biological monitoring during construction. With regards to compliance with the PAD zoning regulations, public infrastructure projects such as this one are not listed as allowed uses on lands suitable for agriculture. However, Chapter 24 of the zoning regulations allows the county to issue a use permit for necessary public infrastructure projects when found necessary for the public's health and safety. As discussed in your staff report, the project parcel overall is not particularly suited to agriculture due to very hilly topography and poor soils. There is no history of agricultural activity at the project site since the adoption of the LCP in 1982. The demolition and replacement of the existing wells will not increase the encroachment of water supply infrastructure onto the relatively flat agriculturally designated soils that comprise the project site. In closing, staff is recommending approval of the proposed project subject to the findings and conditions of approval contained in attachment A of your staff report. Are there any questions I can answer for the commissioners at this time?
Commissioners have any questions?
The applicant is, of course, here to speak on their behalf and can provide you with any details about their project as well.
I'm curious about what kind of supply that the existing wells provide, and is there increase in the amount of water supply?
No, they will not increase the amount of water that that the district is allowed to withdraw through their pumps. The district has a permit from the State Water Resources Control Board, Department of Water Resources, yes, DWR, that limits the amount of water that they can withdraw through the wells, and that will not change. It's simply that the existing wells have reached the end of their useful life, And so new well bores need to be drilled to prevent collapse of the old well bores.
And there's no harm in locating the new wells so close to the existing wells.
There shouldn't be, no. That's the again the area where each new well bore is proposed is relatively close to the existing one. And all of the existing sites are all devoid of vegetation. They're kept that way by the district to prevent any damage to their equipment due to vegetation encroaching into the site. There will, as I mentioned, and as is discussed in the staff report, there are measures that the district will implement as part of their construction process, including exclusion fencing, worker training. There'll be an on-site biological monitor during construction days to prevent any potential impact to species during the construction phase of the project.
What is the service size that's provided by this project?
I'm sorry.
How many homes? Like how much water?
How many homes that well, the amount of water, I think actually the districts here can provide you with details about how much water, what they pump, what they're allowed to pump under their water right from the state, how that translates into number of houses served. If there are any other questions that I can answer, if not, that the applicant is here and can answer those questions as well.
Question I had was the projects in the past about drilling wells, they always had like 3 alternate sites where they would drill to find which is the ideal site for a well. In this case, that's not required?
Different water, you are correct. And we do frequently see when somebody is private individuals wanting to develop a vacant piece of land, they have no idea if there's even water underneath their property. So they request usually 2, 3, or more potential locations, hoping that wherever they stick that straw into the soil, they're going to find water. In this particular instance, because of the location and the known groundwater aquifer that's there, the district knows that they'll find water with these locations.
So because it's close to another location.
Yes.
Where there's
a proven groundwater supply at that location. Yes.
And did I understand correctly that the usefulness of the previous well, like it's not giving enough water, something like that?
I'll defer to the applicant as to the specifics.
Okay.
Yeah, it has a lot more to do with maintenance and soil conditions that change with over the time.
Okay. And is there agricultural activity on this?
No, not on this parcel. The nearest agricultural activity would be further. I can show you. Go back to. Keep going. There we go. So if you look on here, you can see where it says Santa's Tree Farm on below. The project parcel is outlined in black, and you can see the various proposed well locations. If you look below that, you'll see it says Santa's Tree Farm. So that is.
Sorry, I don't see it.
It's.
Oh, your cursor.
Oh,
is your cursor?
How do I make this one? Oh, okay. Perhaps you can.
You can tell me. It's top, bottom.
It's Mike, if you go to Angela's screen, you might be able to move the cursor so the commissioner can see it. Oh, no cursor available. Oh,
sure.
Santa's Tree Farm?
There. Thank you, Angela.
Right there?
Yes.
Okay.
Well field is
Mike, if you don't mind returning to the mic, please.
So is that still part of the parcel?
No, that is an adjacent parcel owned by a different landowner.
Okay, okay, so that's not their parcel.
No, that is not.
Okay, because this is a large parcel. It's a huge.
The parcel that the applicant owns is, yes, it is a large parcel.
Yeah, it's a large. Okay, so there's no agriculture on
No,
the
no
parcel.
immediate agriculture adjacent to the well sites.
So the purpose of adding these 6 wells is to provide to
Well,
customers.
it's not adding, it's replacing. So there are 6 wells right now, and there will be 6 wells, production wells, once the project.
Replacing them.
Yes,
Right.
they're replacements. They're not in addition.
Okay, okay. And in terms of constructing those and any disruption to the customers, is that should I ask the applicants?
Yeah, I think that, yeah,
Okay.
their
Okay,
timeline,
Okay.
how they do that would be best
All
answered by
right.
them.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you, commissioners, for your questions. The applicant will now begin the presentation. You have 15 minutes.
Good morning. Hi, I'm Mary Rogren. I'm the general manager for the Cosi County Water District. And thank you very much for having us today and giving us the opportunity to present. And I also want to say thank you for your service, Commissioner Hanson. So let's see, and I'm also here with our district engineer on the project. And so he will be, our district engineer, John Sutter, from EKI, it's Environment and Water, who designed the project for us. And we also have our biologist, Eli Davidian from ESA, who has been working on all the biological aspects of the project as well. So. At the top there. Okay, so hopefully this will answer some of your questions that you have. Cosi County Water District provides treated water to around 19,000 people and businesses in the city of Half Moon Bay and several unincorporated areas and on the coast, including El Granada, Princeton by the Sea, Miramar. We purchase a good portion of our water, 60 to 70% from San Francisco, SFPUC, but we supplement our supply with local sources, including 20% annually in normal years from this well field. This well field has diverted groundwater under the influence of surface water from Pilices Creek at the current rate since 1960s. So with this replacement, we're not doing anything different. We're serving our community and what we've done literally since the 1960s and 70s. So I will now turn it over to John, who will continue.
Thank you, Mary, and good morning, commissioners. I'll give you a brief background on the well field. So as mentioned, there are six existing wells, and the district operates those wells according to its water right permit along Pilices Creek. So the district is allowed to divert at any given time a total of 1.5 cubic feet per second from a total of those 6 wells, and it has an annual maximum volume to divert of 360 acre feet per year. And its pumping is limited between November 1st and March 31st. And as Mary mentioned, yeah, it's been maximizing that right since the 1960s. And it's about 20% of its supply. Historically, this well field has been the district's lowest cost source of supply. So it's a high priority for them to maintain this source. The existing wells have been constructed between 1965 and 1995. So they're yeah, again, they're approaching the end of their life. Just to go over the needs and objectives, the aging wells present several operational challenges and increasingly high costs to maintain. There's scale buildup, fouling, corrosion on the well equipment that requires frequent and costly cleaning and maintenance. The existing wells also lack a lot of the modern automation that we like to see in modern supply sources, and the wells are just becoming really difficult to maintain and use, difficult and expensive, I should say. So the proposed project is to replace these wells in kind at the same location, and really the objectives are to improve supply reliability and resiliency, especially in event of emergencies, reduce operational and maintenance costs and staff resources, modernize well equipment to improve automation, monitoring capabilities, and overall efficiency, and to maintain the existing pump capacity and volumes without expanding its use. So the design overview: replacement of 6 wells in kind, using corrosion resistant materials. So the existing wells are carbon steel. We're planning to use stainless steel casing and screens. And the project will also replace all the associated concrete pads, piping valves, appurtenances, and connections to the raw water main. As mentioned, the pumps will all be replaced, but the current sizes and electrical services will be maintained. The pumps will be modernized with variable frequency speed drives, improving efficiency, and the project will add integration with the district SCADA system so they're able to remotely monitor and operate the wells. And we're adding manual transfer switches to each of the wells so that emergency generators can be plugged in case of power failures. So we've done a lot of environmental studies on this project, and through those studies, we've identified 3 special status plant species and 4 special status animal species in the area. No cultural resources were identified, and no substantial impacts to environmental impacts or hydrology or water quality impacts are anticipated. We've implemented best management practices to avoid any environmental impact, and those are listed in the staff reporting up on this slide. And just in summary, this project is necessary to maintain the level of service to Coastside County Water District and its customers at an affordable cost. It will allow the district to continue operating as it has for since the 1960s, and will not result in any increased use. It provides modernization of its facilities, and it will improve operational resiliency and ability to deliver water in case of emergency. Happy to answer any questions.
Any questions for the applicant from the commission?
I've got one. What happens to the existing concrete pads?
They'll be demolished and removed, except for one well. So one well will be converted into a monitoring well, but everything else is going to be demolished and removed.
Thank you.
So so is the well water have to be filtered, processed, gone through?
Yeah, so the raw water is conveyed through its raw water transmission system, along with water the district receives from SFPUC, and it's treated at their Nunez water treatment plant.
Okay.
So it's treated as surface water, so it is treated.
Okay. So Are you going to use the same treatment
Correct. Yeah.
units that you had before for the old one?
Yes.
Okay, okay, so that doesn't need to be changed.
No.
Okay, okay. So is this more economical to you?
It's more in the long run, it will be more economical for the district because it will reduce their maintenance costs over time.
Sorry?
It will reduce their maintenance costs over time.
Okay, okay. So, and the previous ones you said were installed in 1960s?
The majority of them were installed in the 60s and
60s.
70s, and then they have one well that was installed in the 1990s that is being maintained as a monitoring well.
Okay, okay. Mhm. So what percentage of this total parcel is being used by these wells?
Well, I think as
And-
previously
and
mentioned, it's a
your
very
units,
it's a
right.
very large parcel,
Right.
and this is not the only use of this parcel for the district. This is where they have their raw water line that connects to their supply sources from SFPUC. So the main use, or another main use, is to maintain that raw water transmission infrastructure. So I don't have the exact
Okay.
know the exact percentage, but it's not a huge percentage of the parcel.
Okay, okay. You had mentioned the SFPUC before, the water. So that is raw water, that raw water comes in. That is also filtered.
Correct.
And treated.
Correct. Yeah.
On there. Okay. Okay. And I think our planner had mentioned that there's no agricultural activity on this.
Correct.
Right. And there are no such plans either of
No.
doing any. Okay. Do you see, and you'll take care of no disruption of water supply to the customers during the time this
Correct.
construction is taking place?
Yeah, we've implemented requirements, sequencing requirements in the contract so that at least 3 of the existing or new wells need to be in service at any given time during their pumping period, so that there will always be a source from these wells online during construction.
Okay. Okay. And what do you expect the total duration of the project to
So
be?
we've allowed for 200 calendar days in the contract. So roughly, 5-6 months.
5-6 months, total time. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. No
You're
more
welcome.
questions.
I actually, well, hang on.
Oh, sorry.
No, I actually have a few questions about, you mentioned that not all the wells are in operation simultaneously. You sort of phase the use so that you have some reserve in what can you describe a bit about like what the percent utilization of any particular well is at a given point in time?
So there are certain wells that currently produce better than others.
Mm-hmm.
And so the district will try to use those wells as much as possible, and then they will cycle through the wells so that they're meeting the water rights requirements. So at any given time, they can't produce more than 1.5 CFS, and then they need to stop their production once they reach 360 acre feet during that water year. So they'll cycle through their wells to achieve that. And actually, what's nice about this project is that there will be automation built into the equipment that will allow them to do that, without, a lot easier. Like there will be an automatic cutoff when it reaches that 1.5 CFS, so they're not ever exceeding that water right, the permit.
I appreciate there are economies of scale for doing all of these wells simultaneously, but just given that they will be replaced simultaneously, the next time they need to be replaced will also be roughly at the same time. Is there is there anything that can be done about that? Just out of curiosity.
Well, yeah, I mean, I think that right now all of them really need to be replaced.
Yeah, I mean that's the
And-
situation we find ourselves in at the moment.
Exactly, and what we're hoping is that these wells will last, 40, 50 years with the improved materials that we're putting in that will allow them to withstand a lot of the effects of corrosions that we're seeing in the other wells.
Okay. I think that's it.
Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner, for your questions. We will now open public comment for item number 5. Madam Clerk, please proceed.
Thank you, Chair. At this time, there's nobody wishing to speak in chambers for item 5. And there are no virtual hands raised on Zoom for this item.
Thank you. We will now close public comment for item 5 and begin commission discussion on this item. Are there any comments from the commission?
If there is no comments, I'll be happy to make a motion.
Please.
I so move that the Planning Commission approve the coastal development permit, plan agricultural development permit, and the use permit for county file number PLN 2025-126 by making the required findings and subject to the conditions of approval listed in attachment A.
I second.
Thank you. That was a motion by Commissioner Hanson, a second by Commissioner Gupta. Commissioner Garcia,
Aye.
Commissioner Gupta,
Aye.
Commissioner Hanson,
Aye.
Chair Serrano Kwan. Thank you. Motion carries.
Thank you. Thank you, Madam Clerk. Mr. Monovitz, I'll turn it over to you now.
Thank you, Chair. Item number 6, correspondence. I have no correspondence to report to you today. Moving on to item 7 regarding our next meeting, which will be on August 27th. We don't have a study session planned, but we do currently have 2 items on the agenda. We have a new residence on a vacant parcel on the coast side in the Miramar neighborhood, as well as permits for proposed improvements to the Filoli Visitor Center adjacent to Crystal Springs Reservoir. Moving on to the director's report. I wanted to let you know that on Monday and Tuesday of this week, I made presentations to the Agricultural Advisory Committee, as well as the Pescadero Municipal Advisory Council regarding our initiative to streamline permits for farm worker housing projects. The initiative was well received. There was numerous questions that I fielded. As I'm sure you can appreciate, our efforts to streamline the permitting process needs to strike the right balance of both expediting permits, but also ensuring that the process will protect coastal resources and other resources and considerations involved. And so that was the nature of most of the questions I fielded, and we certainly have more work to do to make sure that we strike that balance. But as I said, it was well received. I think both the committee and the council members understood the importance of doing what we can to facilitate farm worker housing, and there seemed to be quite a bit of support from the community members in attendance. I wanted to let you know that there'll be an upcoming community meeting regarding the Seal Cove geological study that's underway. I think I've informed you of some of the issues being faced in that community due to increased rates of land movement in what's always known to be a geologic hazard area. So the county commissioned a study by Cotton Shires and Associates to help us understand better what's going on and to provide recommendations on what sort of actions the county can take to try and mitigate some of these issues. So that workshop is planned for September 19th, that is, and it will be at Supervisor Mueller's Coastside office in Princeton. And we'll be meeting before then, so I'll remind you, but I just thought I'd let you know in case you want to get it on your calendars. Similarly, we have a a community meeting regarding Plan Princeton. And that's won't be coming up till November 1st. But it's going to be an important meeting focused on our recommended approach to addressing the anticipated impacts of sea level rise on that community. Finally, I wanted to let you know that we are continuing to make good progress on the Moss Beach Highway 1 Safety and Congestion Improvement Project. We've been working under a grant from the Transportation Authority to move that project forward. It's in its second stage of development, and the final and third stage of the design and environmental review will be the next step. The Transportation Authority will be releasing opportunities to apply for grants in the near future. So on September 23rd, we will be requesting the Board of Supervisors endorsement of our grant to move forward with the third and final step of our planning for this project. And that concludes my report for today. I'm happy to answer any questions you may have.
Any questions? The commission? Not? Thank you, Mr. Monowitz. Our meeting is adjourned, but can we ask the commissioner to stay a little bit to take a photo? And Fred, would you like staff with us, or